This week's episode is brought to you by Dr. Pepper, the most favorite soda of Atlas Novak. Dr. Pepper has been around since 1885 and contains 23 flavors that they don't really tell you, but you're just kind of expected to go along with, so I guess that's just how it is. Dr. Pepper, did you know that the flavor you're thinking of is plums? Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night. I'm Atlas.
And I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And today we're talking about Vanguard bloggers and just speculative forces in general.
So what you're telling me is we're going to be complaining about the people who complain about Vanguard?
Oh yeah, we're meta predictors.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Post-meta predictors.
Ugh, man, Picasso would kick me in the face if like he knew what was going on right now. We pulled up a bunch of like Vanguard bloggers either on YouTube or written that we're just gonna kind of like go over them. Maybe you find a new blog to go check out. Maybe you find someone to hate or like, but no one is safe. So why don't we start with the reason I came up with the episode idea in the first place. So the Solemn Vanguard channel is who we're going to start with. Solemn Vanguard is he French? I can't tell what his accent is.
I don't know.
I don't.
It sounds like a French accent, and I feel like I'm getting it wrong. And I know that it's like vaguely racist to be asking that question, but so he's like he's a big Aquaforce player, and he keeps up with a lot of these reveals for Set 13 and before, with like speculation of what's going on, or this card was revealed, what does it mean, or the state of the meta, or whatever. But I noticed that he's kind of a polarizing figure, at least in Living Proof's Discord, which is another person we'll get to later. But what do you guys think?
I think he's too quick to post his initial, like, you know how you have like two reactions to things? You have like your initial reaction, which is usually like overblown and like not very useful.
Yeah.
And then you have the reaction that like you've thought about it for a while and you've like kind of extrapolated on the things you already know. He tends to post his like initial reactions as like, kind of pretending they're his later reactions, kind of, I guess. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
I mean, I don't really watch other people's stuff, so I'm just going based off what you guys say for this.
Like, they showed Dracuma, and he had a video up, like...
Drachma is the worst ZR, and it's in all caps, and then in parentheses, I'm sorry, Dragon Empire. Which is like,
also the clickbaity title.
I was going to say, that's a
clickbait is dumb.
Clickbaity-ass title.
Clickbait is dumb. Like, if you title something and it sounds like clickbait, I will not click on your video, like, ever.
I mean,
so like
I watched it just because like I kind of like his presence, I guess you could say. Like I like the way he backs up his points, even though some of them aren't correct. But the thing with Drachma is he says, so far Drachma is the worst ZR. I'm like, yes, you are correct.
Yes.
There
are two of them.
But why didn't you put that in the title? Like Drachma is the worst ZR so far. Or worse.
No, that's not how clickbait works, Alice.
Shut up. I don't know, and then another big thing that a lot of people got up in arms about was his meta prediction after the Link Joker set. So here, I'm gonna, if I remember correctly, his prediction. God damn it, my prediction, or his prediction after the Chaos set comes out, is that Chaos and Messiah are going to be tier 1, which, no.
I mean, certainly being played a lot, but...
Yes, but... And then he said deleters were going to be 1.5.
Okay, anyone who says tier 1.5 is actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, please stop saying tier 1.5. If you catch yourself about to say tier 1.5, be like, wait, what am I talking about?
Actually,
you're just trying to make people feel better. That's really all you're doing.
I don't know. Decimals exist.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're not really useful for tier lists.
Yeah, so do irrational numbers. Want to use those too?
I don't know. I'm not a math major.
It's tier pi over 4. That's a bad argument.
Oh my god. That's great. Tier pi over 4. That needs to be like the team name. Team pi over 4.
My point is you can fighting games doesn't use tiers like they do in card games, because in fighting games it's so much easier to get the data you need, because you can just play you can play a set of easily a set of 25 matches.
Yeah.
And people know what they're doing, and there's not really a bunch of RNG preventing you from doing something reasonable.
True. Was it fighting games also split it into letters, don't they? Like S, A, B, C, D, etc.
That's my point, right? Yeah. Because you can have tiers that are drastic, can measure small differences because it's easier to collect data. In Vanguard, not only is there a lot of RNG, but everything is much closer together because of that. Yeah. There's more variance, things are closer together. And so it's really hard to, measure things, small, very, very small differences between two decks. So you just want to put things in general groupings. When things are tier 1 because they seem, enough better than, they're people play them a lot and they're enough better than other decks that, you might see.
I know enough better is not grammatically correct, but it is that is the best way to describe something. It's enough better.
Yeah. I mean that does have a meaning. That means something.
Right? Yeah. Do you think if Solemn or really anybody started putting tiers by letters instead of numbers, you wouldn't get this 1 versus 1.5 versus 1 versus 2 thing?
Okay, again, the problem is the use of letters in fighting games stems from the ability to collect accurate, close, and large amounts of data.
Yeah.
Where you don't have that access in Vanguard.
Okay, I know that, but I'm saying that if people just said A versus B as opposed to 1 versus 2.
No, because then we're gonna get stuff this deck is B plus or A minus because this stems from people wanting to feel better about their decks.
I mean, we also have been noted as saying medium plus versus medium minus. So
okay, that's
we're
not talking about that's talking about a card, right? That's not talking about a deck.
Fair. I'm just saying that we're not saints either. So
I've never said that language isn't perfect, right? We're not going to have words that very accurately talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah.
We just have to do the best we can.
Oh yeah. So another thing in his meta prediction video, so blasters, OTT, and Blade Wings were going to be negatively affected by Chaos. And now that Chaos has been out for a few weeks in Japan, I can say that Blade Wings are fine. Let's see.
Blade Wings are also just very powerful.
That's true. Yeah. But he said Wiseman, OTT, Blade Wings, and blasters were going to get hurt. What do you guys think? I think OTT definitely got hurt a lot.
I think OTT and blasters definitely get hurt by Chaos.
Yeah.
Blade Wings, they can cheese getting locked because of the stupid enigmatic assassin ruling, so as long as your Vanguard is standing, you can still loop enigmatics, so yeah. As long as you can keep an open circle, Blade Wings aren't affected.
Yeah, and then also you have really strong Vanguards Gilderai and Later Mouse and all that good stuff. And then he said that, let's see, ZTB and Blade Master, I think we're going to do all right. ZTBs are fine. And then
ZTBs are fine. Blade Master, I question. I don't know how you're supposed to be blazing if your field doesn't exist.
I mean, you just have to have more. If their field's empty and you have 4 locked cards, it's still more. But
no, isn't it more rear guard?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you have 4 locked cards and 1 open rear guards, or 1 rear guard, then that's still more than 0. I don't know. I haven't really seen Kagero do any crazy shit since Chaos came out in Japan.
Blade Master was already down by set 12, so
yeah. Well, they're getting stuff in 13, so they might be back up again. But who knows?
So far, the stuff revealed hasn't been good enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Let's see, and then also another big thing that people were a little like salty about was the How to Beat series that he had. He had like a very small. It was like How to Beat Luard, Battle Sisters, Dominate, ZTB, and Blade Wings. And if I remember correctly from watching them, it's for the most part accurate. I don't get why you have a lot of people that are just like he has the wrong.
I mean, the answer to half of those matchups is rush them.
Let's see, Luard check, Blade Wings check, Dominate check.
I mean, yeah, you just want to rush them down and kill them before they get their big Dominate turn going.
ZTB check, I guess. Battle Sisters can. Alright, like one of his things for Battle Sisters was kill rear guards. I'm like, yep, you got it. Like, it's pretty much on board.
The vast majority of decks in this game do not punish rushing that well.
That's true. And then he also had things like, because he's very Aquaforce focused, and that's okay. Like, if a channel is focused on one particular clan, that's all right. He had, what Aquaforce needs to be competitive. Thavas is back with the reveal of that GR and the Thavas Grade 3. Fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't think that he deserves all the flack that he gets, but he's not perfect either.
Right, but in comparison, you look at somebody like Living Proof, who just, very generally does a good job, and like doesn't post like super initial reactions,
and make very clickbaity titles.
Oh, speaking of
yeah, I haven't really watched any of his stuff because of all the clickbaity titles.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's a good, because I was pretty much out of stuff to say about Solemn, so I was just going to move over to our good friend and ally, Living Proof. So, to those who don't know, Living Proof is another Vanguard YouTuber, and his big thing, I guess, is that he specializes in Spike Brothers. And for a long time, that was kind of the only thing he did. Like, most of his videos were either, like, just games on CFA with like Hellheart 8 or whatever versus other stuff. Like, I think during his birthday month, it was just 30 days of CFA fights. And then, like some deck profiles and things like that. But a lot of it is mostly through the lens of Spike Brothers. But I think over time, he's trying to kind of expand the scope, I guess you could say. Because Living Proof only has 905 subscribers at the time of recording this, and he needs so much more.
Right.
To all you Nexus listeners out there, please, we are giving it the official Nexus seal of approval. Please go check out Living Proof.
I think part of the problem is a lot of the community isn't looking for what Proof gives.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people just want like humorous videos, which is fine. And I think those do a lot of work, but I think the Vanguard community has a lot more of those, or videos people see as just kind of like a joke. Like a lot of what, and this might be a personal opinion, and it might get us kicked from our group, but I don't really care. I'm going to say it anyway. Is kind of how I feel about Robbie Cole. Like, I just feel like nobody really takes that guy seriously.
Robbie Cole?
Yeah, he's one of the moderators of Vanguardians.
Oh, okay.
I just can't. He seems like such non-important, I guess.
I mean, what, Proof or Robbie Cole?
Robbie Cole.
Robbie Cole.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I think his, like, content is low quality.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of just out there to pick fights.
I haven't watched his content.
And people have generally agreed that the pricing on his store is ass.
Okay.
He also does, what is that store? I'm Your Goddess?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think he has his own store.
I think he shills them as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we're... Okay. But regarding Proof, he has started doing, like... Every week, he has started doing this series called Huddle Up, where he goes over card reveals by Bushiroad every week and talks about them. And then he also had, where was that? Oh, State of the Meta, that's where it was. So his prediction of the meta post Rondo of Chaos and Salvation is, for Tier 1, he has Blade Wings, ZTV, Battle Sisters, and Chaos. And then Tier 2, he has Luard, which he had made clear was a bold prediction. So just getting that out of the way. Blade Master, Messiah, Blasters, Vanquisher, Deleters, Night Rose, Wiseman, Crazy 8, and Glendios. So it's a much bigger, it's a much smaller Tier 1 with a much bigger Tier 2.
That normally happens?
Yeah.
He posted this on October 25th, 2017, so it's not like he had a lot of information about Set 13 at the time of him posting. So obviously things are subject to change as time goes on, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, that's the point, is to regularly update your opinions on the meta.
Yeah. Ultimately, it's an easy-ish way to produce content is to just comment on stuff. I do think that Proof's kind of style of he's got this very calming, deep voice that I don't know. It's like that football coach who didn't make you run laps when you screwed up. You're like, it's a good football coach. And I don't know. He's kind of a treat to listen to, just to have on in the background, which. He will definitely be coming back once we cover Set 13. We're going to have him back for that set review, because I know nothing about Spike Brothers, so that's going to be that. What do you guys think of his tier list?
I mean, he did go to his Discord and asked all of us about our opinions on things, too.
Yeah, that's another thing he does, is he definitely does his research. And for each thing on his tier list, he put the reason that he put it in the spot it was in.
Yeah, I do think his meta list was generally accurate. I do disagree with the placement of Battle Sisters. I do think after Chaos hits, it's going to go down in stock.
Down to tier 2. Would it just be Blade Wings, ZTV, and Chaos, or?
Hard to say, because, so far in the topping results, we've gotten weird things like Hari has been creeping in. Messiahs have come up in, team tournaments in VGCS, which is hard to take seriously because of how they arrange their rules for top cuts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Just based off what I've seen from people posting on the subreddit and Twitter links that have been given in Discord, it seems like Hari and Messiahs are kind of sneaking in there.
Yeah. As a Pale Moon player, I'm very happy, and I want him in English already. God damn it. But yeah, I think Proof is definitely an underrated gem who deserves more subs, and I don't just say this because I hang out on his Discord all the time. It's because he puts the work in.
I think he has some of the best content. Just as far as how thought out it is.
Yeah. And it's not memey or everything or anything. And to podcast listeners on the YouTube channel, yes, I know that we're known for memey stuff, but I'm not a memer person. So that's just kind of how it is. That's our opinion, and I highly recommend you go check him out if you haven't already.
I think people overdo it with that, to be honest. They're just always looking for something they can just spout endlessly, and it's annoying.
I'm Pickle Rick, though.
Please. To be fair, you need a very high IQ.
Dude, that's gonna give me an aneurysm one of these days. Just the second I see
the Morty fan base is awful. The Rick and Morty fan base.
The second I see the words "to be fair," I shut down. It doesn't matter what the context is. They could be saying anything else, but if I hear "to be fair," I'm out.
But this is this is basically how people defend Murakuma on the subreddit, right? Because they're always "Oh well, to be fair, you need to be very skilled to play Murakumo," and I'm like, "No, you don't. The deck's just bad."
Yeah,
Murakumo's not that hard.
Speaking of stuff being bad, Cardfight EXP is a written blog, and he put up Was it a dude? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He put up an article called "Why Do I Keep Losing?"
Sounds like a good question.
And this is probably one of my favorite written Vanguard articles, portmanteaus, Vanguard articles that I've seen in a while. And so they had he has a set of golden rules, which is you can never play perfectly, think through your lines, even good cards can be bad, and those are the big three. And then and then he breaks down steps of how to get better, which is play, matchup, and deck build of taking into consideration why you might suck. and then one last important point: you cannot expect a bad deck to win. And then if you want the best chance to do well, take the best deck you can. Matt, you've been spouting that mantra for close to a year now.
Yeah.
And it does make the most sense. And yes, that if you do go on the subreddit, there are a lot of people who are like, I want this to be good. I'm like, yeah, but they're not right now.
Yep. And it doesn't matter how much you want it to be good. If it's not good, well.
And if you manage to do good with it, good for you. Good job.
Yeah, but that's not like a reasonable expectation.
Yeah,
you shouldn't give.
Yeah, that was kind of the point. Is that's not a reasonable argument, though. In the wider context of things, just because you win your locals all the time doesn't mean whatever you're playing is good in the wider context.
Yeah. I mean, we have our previous episode about clan loyalty where we talked about this a little bit, where because Vanguard kind of pushes you toward this is your clan, you're in charge of it type of thing, that people get overly attached to something, a deck of theirs being good or bad. But yeah, Why Do I Keep Losing is definitely something you should check out. It's on the front page of the Vanguard subreddit right now. If not, I'll put it in the description of the YouTube video if you're listening on YouTube. If not, then just Google Cardfight EXP Why Do I Keep Losing. It'll probably be the first thing you run into. What do you guys think of the rest of Cardfight EXP?
It's mostly kind of a lot of Kagero articles. I know the guy plays a lot of Kagero, and I do not. And I don't know.
He also plays Gears.
Oh well, everyone plays Gears.
Yeah, but I noticed that a lot of these channels, everyone's got their thing. Proof's got Spike Brothers, Solemn's got Aquaforce. This guy is Kagero.
Sure.
I have great.
And it's not unusual for people to have a clan they like, right?
Yeah.
But the issue is how far do you take that? And Proof is pretty much only about spikes, and he has very rarely stuff about other stuff.
Yeah, which is why he usually comes to us when it comes to figuring out other decks.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing, but
yeah.
But yeah, Cardfight EXP is definitely another blog I would recommend checking out. He has a pretty good article back when Domination first came out. Domination's hazy execution.
Yep. I mean, it was definitely more calm and coherent than whatever the fuck I wrote.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Dominate.
I was gonna say
Dryden.
What?
I know Dryden spends quite a bit more time on his article than some other people. So, Root Beer. I mean, what?
I was gonna say good segue. Some jagoff named Lightning Fish has a blog.
Wow, rude.
A blog that I have written for before.
Oh, that was an exciting article.
I've done 2, thank you very much. But
okay.
Yeah. A lot of your stuff is just decks that you like, I've noticed.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of them. I usually just focus on doing reactions because I haven't been playing this game as much lately, so I haven't felt a real need to comment on the state of the game as a whole, and I have a tendency to get really ranty, so whenever I do, it ends up being this long, incoherent mess of a post.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's see. The 2 guest articles I wrote, Screwing with People and Rush and 10K Vanillas. That's the... the thing. I mean, I definitely wasn't the first to recommend running 10k vanillas to deal with Rush, but
I mean, you got pushback on that one until it became more ubiquitous.
yeah,
Right?
In America, anyways.
man,
It's okay. America always lags for whatever reason.
Yeah.
it is seriously the best feeling to be right, especially when people give you shit for it beforehand.
No, man.
That shit's my crack, like for reals.
Yeah, I think kind of the differences is like when the writers don't spend a lot of time thinking about it,
Yeah,
or content producers, it really shows. Like, because then it brings up all these questions, right? Like you start asking all these questions, and you're like, well, what do I think about this or this or this? You know, like, oh, this card is bad. Okay, well, is it's bad with this? And like you think of like the first scenario, and most people don't start off by saying cards are bad. In fact, the Vanguard community tends to say,
Overrate
instead of
cards.
say bad, not only overrate cards, but kind of say, oh, this card is just situational as like a defense. But like that the word situational implies you haven't thought about what situations the card is good in and what situations the card is bad in, and the likelihood that you encounter situations where this card is good and or bad. Like people talk about, like, so they've been printing a lot of cards recently that say like choose cards on circles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so people have been saying, oh, it's like anti-Link Joker, right?
yeah.
I swear if I see this phrase one more time.
No, the worst part are Link Joker players who get mad at that. Or just the fact that it exists. They're like, man, now we can't do stuff. I'm like, dude, you're fine. You can get more locks next turn. It's not like this, like getting rid of a lot of these stills that get rid of cards aren't really something that like pushes back against Link Joker. It just gives them a counterplay so they can keep doing whatever it is they want to do.
The real point is there are 20-something odd clans, and there's this, slight phrasing that deals with exactly one of them.
Yeah.
Right. See, so the problem with this is like I think they probably regret lock as a mechanic.
Yeah.
Even as far back as the Star Vader TD or BT12.
Yeah.
And so that because this one like wording that's like not even that different than choose a rear guard. Like, it's not that much different, but they have to word it this way in order to get around the lock mechanic. When I think they could have just, before they started doing all this, just errata lock so that the card is just still a rear guard.
Mm.
I think that would have changed the dynamic of how lock works. Like, you can't attack with it, right? But it's still like a rear guard you can retire, or a rear guard, but it just doesn't have properties.
Isn't that just called Mega Colony then? Like,
yeah, I was about to say,
No.
isn't that just a colony?
Not quite. Like, you can make it so they can't call over it. Like, they have to, like, actually retire it. Or actually, like, eat it or whatever. Like, you can just like, errata and say, okay, well, we're going to, like, rework a lock, but, it's still make it so it makes sense in the context of the game. Like, it loses properties, which Meg Colony does not do, right? It has no power. It can't attack. Like, you can't call anything over it, but you can retire it to effects.
Yeah.
That need a generic rear guard. Like, it doesn't have a name, so you can't say, oh, I'm going to retire the Star Vader rear guard. It's not going to like that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you could have errated it in this way. But instead, we now have choosing cards on circles.
Yeah.
I think it's like a good idea for what they're doing.
Sure. I think it's just, like, a different workaround, and I think a lot of it just stems from regretting how they designed the lock mechanic to begin with. Because if we, like... You can't print too many good cards or free cards that just lock a thing, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, here we are.
Let's see. Another one, and close to my heart, Great Nature University. Again, it's literally just Great Nature stuff. And then whatever...
I've not read this.
What?
I've not read this. Because
So-
I don't play Great Nature.
The last 5 articles they have are Talented Rhino, which is that new card they revealed for the Zoo Booster. First Thoughts.
Sure.
Atlanta, Georgia post-regionals wrap-up, because I'm guessing they live in Atlanta. State of Great Nature, September 2017. The GB8 reveal, and the Flippy G-Dart and Heel Trigger reveal. And that was March, April, September, October, November. Like, just
So they don't update very often.
not very often, no. But because they are like
Great nature focused.
under my banner, I have to plug them a little bit.
All right.
And honestly, like if you're looking for great nature stuff, it's I almost said the word great. It's wonderful. That's a good word. It's wonderful for what it is, and
So you're saying if great nature were better, the quality of this blog might be better?
Probably. But but just like how they go on and explain the like what the card does, and they do their research at least into their subject matter. So like for example, the card they were talking about, Talented Rhino, it still is so he's an 11k grade 3 with success at 20,000, and then GB1, if this unit is successful, it gets plus 4k, and for the battle that this attacked, your opponent can't call grade 0s from hand to guard circle. So it's like Silent Tom. And when I first saw that, I was like, okay, that's fine, I guess. But like Charhot does it for free. And then they mentioned in the article that you can combine it with Mana Garm to make it so they can't guard with anything. And then Atlas got a boner. So I have been testing with this, and it's been going pretty well with the Mana Garm thing. I'm just saying that like they tipped me off to an idea that I wouldn't have had before this.
Mm-hmm. Wait, you wouldn't have immediately thought about Mana Garm with the Rhino?
No, I didn't, because I'm an idiot. And
I
that was like the first thing everybody in our Discords thought of when they saw that card.
Well, freaking
when you told me what the card does, I'm like, oh, that's probably pretty good with Mana Garm.
God damn it! No,
Atlas.
I was Atlas, just, I just ended up comparing it to Dark Irregulars because fucking. That's the bit.
Because you play more Dark Irregulars than you do Great Nature?
At this point, yes, because regionals are next week, and I'm bringing Blade Wings, which, spoiler alert, if you see me walking around with the Nexus and Night shirt, you know what I'm playing, so.
Yep. Wait, you're not going to be wearing the podcast one?
Oh, no, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that's like, I wear that to every public event just because publicity.
Yeah. Speaking of Nexus, I think Nexus videos are, like, pretty whatever.
Richard's editing.
Make fun of you guys.
Look, Richard doesn't even listen to this podcast, right? It doesn't matter.
Okay, fair, but
he's gonna upload it, not listen to it, and just be like, whatever.
I mean, I'm the one who uploads it. He just the only thing he does is he messes with the thumbnail.
Sure.
So like last week we had it was episode 66. So I'm
not knocking Richard. I think Richard does a great job.
I think he does.
I think Richard I think Richard's editing is like pretty great. What the problem I have is people just being dumb, like people playing Grand Blue like horribly. Like please play the deck like enough times where you don't look like a complete dumb when you play it on camera. Like Jesus.
Gabe, you've been called out.
Yeah, I'm calling you out, Gabe, right here, right now. You're shit at Grand Blue. Fight me.
I mean, he's in New York. You're in Maryland. At least
it's so far.
It's the same coast, at least.
Sure.
But yeah, so like, you know what? No one is free from scrutiny. I realize that most of Nexus Corps' stuff is deck profiles and fights.
You do realize Nexus Corps is most known for Dungaree now, right?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's our freaking mascot. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, it's like you're a meme.
Yeah. We are a meme. I mean, like, I'm not a memey person. I'm trying to, like... I try to, like, when I put out content that's not this or, a deck, or, like, deck profiles, I try and put a little bit of thought into it, except for maybe Aichi's Pockets, because that was my wounded knee. But, but just like, I try, like, I've tried to write sketches before, and I usually get vetoed because not a lot of the other guys want to act. And I get it. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. But I try and put more into this channel because this is like the one Vanguard thing that I can creatively get into. And honestly, this podcast came as a result of frustration of my sketches not getting filmed.
Fair.
So,
the real question is, are the podcasts on YouTube monetized?
Yeah, they are. But it's only like, let's see, we have like 500 views 575 views. We definitely don't get as many as like the like deck profiles.
I think the fights are the ones like people probably are the most inclined to watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like obviously I can understand why you can't have just any matchup, but even when you're playing like just dumb matchup versus dumb matchup, you want to at least play properly. Like,
Yeah.
Like play well-ish.
Speaking of dumb matchup versus dumb matchup, I'll give you guys a little glimpse into the future. My friend Dominic and I, he plays Darkness, I play Blade Wings, and we did a mirror match. And
It's not a mirror match.
Okay, it's at least by clan, it's mirror match. The point is that we flipped up the same starter, and it is the weirdest game I've ever done, because I sea breezed him, and I ended up losing. Because
so let me get.
Did you sea breeze him with Assassin?
Is it because you weren't playing Wereflater Jaeger? Or Wereflater, whatever the stupid starter is? The bat?
Yeah, Ordnez. No, I switched to Deranged Singular, because...
It sounds awful.
Well, no. So what you can do is you can, like, throw down...
Oh, I know what you can do.
Okay.
We know what it does.
Okay.
I know what the card does. I'm just saying, like, Wereflater is very good.
I ended up...
It's so fast.
I ended up only getting 2 Assassins in Soul on the Seabreeze turn, so he lived through that, and then the game lasted forever, and then he killed me, and it was like one of the most fun games I've ever had in a long time. And you hopefully you guys will get to see it if Richard deems it good enough, the footage, but it's I definitely think it's going to be one you guys are going to enjoy, because we've never done a mirror match on the channel before. But yeah, most of our views do come from just like deck profiles and fights, which fine, I don't care. But
wow, people want Vanguard content on their Vanguard.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
I don't know. I just I want to do more pockets and top 5s and sketches and stuff, and Yeah,
you're not gonna have the blow up like different fight.
The blow up.
Yeah, remember when Bushiroad's like tweeted out his how to play whatever it was.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have that, man.
I know, but we have over 6,000 subscribers. We're doing
the way to do it is make clean content, right?
Yeah.
Like if you swear a lot, they're not gonna want to share your video because that doesn't represent them.
I kind of have a dirty mouth, so that's not gonna happen.
Same.
Yep.
Want to earn our explicit tag for the week? No, I'm kidding.
Just did. Got him.
Wait, did I just say fuck?
No, I did.
Oh.
I said fucking same.
Oh, no, I think I drowned you out. Because I didn't hear it. Whatever. Explicit tag earned for the week. Moving on. That's probably a good segue into Different Fight, who is like, that is the Vanguard channel when people think of him.
He has the most subscribers of any Vanguard channel, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. He has double ours. He's got 12,792 at the time of recording this.
Are there even that many Vanguard players?
Here, we can always check out Twitter and see how many followers they have, because at the very least, it's that amount. Let's see. So Vanguard's Twitter... Okay, that's only 7,000, so that's not how that works then. Bushiroad. Let's see, they have 13.1 thousand. Bushiroad.
So he almost has all of Bushiroad's, well, I guess there's some overlap from Buddy Fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, Buddy Fight Weiss and whatever the fuck else they're doing, but
nobody plays Weiss.
Yeah.
Nobody plays Buddy Fight.
Yeah, but they also have like New Japan Pro Wrestling and all that.
Okay, literally nobody plays these. Actually, somebody must play these games because, Japan.
Yeah. Well, either way, he is insanely popular in terms of this community, and I don't know. I think he's living in Japan right now, if I'm not mistaken.
He told me to get out of his mentions when I told him when he found out I sold D-Robo.
Really?
Yeah.
Get out of his mention? Are you serious?
Yeah, he's like, fuck out of my mentions.
Damn it! Is that like the Vanguard equivalent of like tearing your pocket? Or
it's the Twitter equivalent of get the fuck out of my face.
I mean, like, so Different Fight got famous for the how to play videos, where it starts with how to play and then whatever the clan is, and then it's just this kind of like meme sketch. Which it's because of that the pocket videos happened. So thank you, Different Fight, for giving me something to rip off.
Hey, that's what all the best creators do.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't even ask permission; you just do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like we were also doing how to play whatever else. It's just the kind of like meme this thing where, you know, you kind of parody a character, blah blah blah.
Sure.
But a lot of this, you know, he covers pretty much every set that comes out just card by card, more than we do, where we just cover from the triple R's down to the double R's and whatever else we want. He goes through everything, and that takes like over an hour by himself.
I mean, even doing what we do, we usually take like an hour and a half.
That's true. I think our record is something like an hour and 23 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. But let's see. And you know, again, because he plays D-Robos, a lot of his stuff where he goes further in depth is regarding Stargate clans usually. So it's Dimension Police, Nova Grappler. But that's not to say he's like all about that. In fact, a lot of his content is regarding competitive events, where he'll travel to an event and be talking to people, or have a deck profile of one of the top 4, that kind of thing.
Or matches. I think he was giving commentary on some VGCS or something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely something I want to do at some point. Is like commentate a match.
I don't know. I don't think I'd really be interested in doing that.
If anyone's out there, I'm totally down. But
I just don't know if I can. I don't know. There's just Vanguard is not something I'd probably want to do that for. I guess is in the long and short of it.
That makes sense.
But he also has some content about how the Japanese meta evolves.
Yeah.
And so, and those I think those are fairly popular.
Yeah, it's definitely a good Western look into Japan's meta. Because otherwise you gotta go on Japanese sites and hope to God Google Translate doesn't screw you over.
You go on Twitter. Twitter is the king of finding Vanguard decks.
Really?
Yes.
I can never I never do well with those pictures, because every time they take a picture of like their deck kind of fanned out, there's all this glare every time.
Oh yeah, some of them are pretty bad at taking pictures.
Yeah. I don't know. Usually I just go on to Bushi's Japanese site, and then
I just wait for people to post Twitter pictures.
Whatever works for you, I guess.
You just sit in Discord and wait till somebody does it.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I like those are pretty much all the like blogs I wanted to bring up. So to review, Solemn Vanguard, Plasma Fish, Grey Nature University, Cardfight EXP, Living Proof, Different Fight, and then us, because why the hell not?
I mean, we are on the Nexus Corps channel, so if you want to listen to more episodes of the podcast, maybe subscribe to that.
Yeah, we
rack up more views so we make more money off of it.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
You know what's awful is I still haven't uploaded our backlog from before I started putting the episodes on the channel, which
happens.
I'm a bad person.
We know.
Thanks. Yeah, kind of fucking.
I understand. Life happens.
60 episodes, people. I have to put up 60 episodes.
So many.
It is a lot, and I don't want to fucking... I wonder if there's a way to, like, upload to a channel without it showing up in sub boxes.
I think you can upload it all as private first, and then make it public.
No,
I'm pretty sure it doesn't show up then.
No, unfortunately it does, because that's what I do every week, is I upload it as private for Richard to screw with the thumbnail, and then he puts it as public. Because that's just what he does, is he?
Rip.
I mean, I gotta say, some of these thumbnails are fantastic. Like, for, let's see, like, episode 62, It's a Difficulty. It's just a guy screaming at his computer with the Nexus at Night symbol next to it. Or 61, Unintentional Successes. It's a bunch of people raising graduation caps and then just a picture of Big Billy. Like, it just makes me happy. And I know Richard isn't going to hear this, but I hope he keeps doing that.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah. Well,
He saves us all.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely think, I hope to you listeners out there, I hope this gave you new people to look at. We hope that it didn't come off as like standoffish. We really do appreciate people who put out Vanguard content because like we are a community, and having more things to like talk about and argue about makes the experience more robust and fun to me.
I just want to say to people who are creating content or want to create content, you don't need to be the first person to write an article about something. You just need to be the best person to write an article about something.
Or at least offer a different viewpoint or something.
Yeah, like, take the time, process the card. Don't post, like, your 1 second reaction. Post, your 30-minute reaction. When you've maybe talked about it with some people, when you've maybe thought about a lot of scenarios. Like, I think that's just going to be, in general, better for not only yourself, because you're putting yourself through a very rigorous like stance of what am I looking at for this card, what is it doing, versus the this card looks sweet kind of thing.
Yeah,
like it's going to help you, it's going to help the rest of the community. It's just, I think, overall better. And in Magic, we don't like in the MTG community doesn't do that with cards a lot. Like, people will like react to it, but nobody like writes articles about like individual reveals. They wait till there's like several reveals.
Yeah.
But we also don't have like big dumb cards like ZRs like this game has.
That's true. Let's see. Well, that's pretty much all I have to to look at. I know we're missing probably hundreds of blogs and channels out there, but that's just who we look at. So I'm sorry if you want to recommend like other blogs or channels to us, tweet at us at Nexus at Night. You can find me at Atlas Novak.
You can find me at Wiggums, 2 G's, 2 Z's on Twitter, or you can find me in Living Proofs Discord, or the that's pretty much it.
Yes.
I'm also in the Reddit Discord for some reason. I don't really know why.
I'm in it too, but I never look.
I'm no longer banned.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that since they got new mods. Yeah.
Yep. And you can find me at Plasma Eclipse. I barely post.
Yeah.
Happens. Also your blog.
Also your blog, which we already dug into, but what plasmafish.wordpress.
We already lightningfish.wordpress.com.
This blog's fun.
Yeah.
It's just
and then,
about clans I don't play.
And then I have a personal blog where it's not Vanguard related, but it's just my life. It's giantawkwardbear.wordpress.com.
I mean, I'm probably going to end up transitioning my blog into an art blog because I haven't been bothered to really write about cards lately.
I mean, you put you put your art on Facebook. It's really good. Like,
all right, but Atlas.
Yeah.
I just said giant awkward bear like in passing, and it's stuck this long.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, because
I just said it like as a throwaway.
But it's like the best like summing up of me ever.
Imagine my surprise.
I don't know. Like, people also say I look like a homeless Chris Hemsworth. Is that like something I want to name my blog? Fuck no.
Do you think I know who Chris Hemsworth is? You are incorrect.
The guy who plays Thor.
You think I've seen Thor?
I don't think he's been in any other like major movies. That's like
wait, really? Just only Thor?
Well, I know. I'm sure he's been in other. Oh wait, no. What am I talking about? He was the secretary in the Ghostbusters reboot.
I also didn't see that.
It wasn't that good. But
did I just post a picture of this in the Skype chat?
What? The
Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah. Please do.
Oh, I'll have to open up the Skype chat. What is this? But yeah, and like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night, everyone. I want to take the time to thank anybody who found this podcast. I also recommend sharing it with your friends, family, anybody who likes Vanguard. You can find us on SoundCloud or on your podcast app, that little purple thing that goes in the folder of the stuff you can't delete, like stocks. Who uses stocks? Anyway, you can also tweet me, Atlas Novak, so at ATLASNOVACK. You can also tweet at Nexus at Night, NEXUSATNIGHT, or you can tweet the Nexus Corps YouTube channel, so at NEXUSCORPS. Be sure to check out that YouTube channel. We have, card fights and deck profiles and all that good stuff.